Okay, so yeah, I think it's going to able to. I didn't pick them out, and I don't know. I do and don't know that much in them. I see. This can be very viewer led. This one, because yeah, and I like when it can be that way too, for the most part. So, uh, um, sorry, our dog's being a bit distracting. I'm gonna give him something to distract himself with, and hopefully it won't be. Hopefully it'll all be good. Even though I found that I don't really roll for a bit. See about right. So sorry for the quiet start. Um, you're welcome to skip ahead. You know, to the content which I'm awaiting song requests to create. I find for me, I'm often kind of, I like a lot of music, but thinking them up, I should have had the radio on, but I haven't been inside from out in the yard for very long, and I know that YouTube wouldn't like it if I was playing the actual radio recorded music and such in the video. So I'm not. It is nice and breezy out there, but it's not making its way this far into the house. So I might end up putting on the AC too, but not just the Ritz. But yeah, so I didn't really let myself gather ideas. And I have to be able to think of them to do them, right? Curious what this one is. Yeah, I just don't know if I do that one. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long for people. Come on the side of the laptop. Hadn't been using it for a little while today, but it's been about 15, 20 minutes, but it's probably going to want to be until it gets closer to dark. So, yeah, I probably got at least 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And it is a Saturday. So, it's also a very slow start. I know we gained at least one new subscriber earlier today, possibly just the one. I mean, I only did one video, and it wasn't a full hour, and I don't think there was a lot of activity. Aside from the one person, I think there was another person that stayed for a while, and then maybe one or two others, but I don't know if they subscribed. So, they should have if they knew it was good for them. Just kidding. Well, not really kidding, but kind of kidding. There really is a lot on YouTube, so it kind of, it's just luck of the draw. Somebody finds us, I guess, eh? Um, yeah, that's not the song I thought it was, and that what I did now earlier. It's always interesting to see the random song or topic request that one may get when doing videos like this. If people are wondering how many subscribers this channel has, why it's taking 6 minutes, has a lot, but the pandemic, a lot of people, and just in general, a lot of people do pass away, and they say there's a lot on YouTube. And for a while, the channel was dormant. Nothing, we weren't doing anything with it. So um, people weren't expecting to really see much happening on it, and follow others more so. Come on, make me feel like I have a music career. Because sometimes I really feel like I don't, but I do. I should. Talent's the first requirement, right? For the most part. Then a willing audience is the next. Can't know he finished what he was doing, so hopefully he will stay being good. Huh. What's an acoustic cover? I could do that one. I don't really know if I like the group name of it, but otherwise, I quite like it. Hmm. Do you know some? No, I don't know if I really know. And also, um. I'm just gonna quickly look at this music section though. Any songs that it shows that maybe it might be good to do. So at least I can do one or two. If I have to wrap up, um, you know, in the next half hour and nobody's been here by chance, then at least I'll have done one. Hmm. I'm just reading something. If I look like I have reading eyes to anybody that sees this afterwards, but depending on what happens in this, I may or may not keep it posted, depending on how much actually transpires. Hmm. Okay, so we have somebody here. Took just under 10 minutes, but we got somebody here. So welcome. Thank you. Feel free to put your requests. I don't know why I said thank you, but thank you for being here, I guess. Your requests in the comment, and I'll see what I can do. I'm also looking through some ideas, but it's very random stuff. Happy to do music for you, though. I just need suggestions tonight. And feel free to make more than one of them. I mean, if I am unable to do the first request, I would say so. I can usually kind of try and say why. And also where you're watching from, if you'd like. Sorry, I just have my reading eyes. Like I say, I'm watching both things. I'm thinking that the person who's here is working on sending something through because you've been here for a few minutes. Hi. You're not done out there, are you?
Oh, then that's it.
Okay, you do other stuff. Okay.
So can you go up with French?
Sounds like a plan to me. I'm seeing something that makes me think Disney. That could be an option. Suggestion. And yeah, otherwise I'm sorry that this is so quiet and boring. I just am really needing the suggestions to get this one pumping and happening. And sometimes that is the case. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes it's just, I cover what I want to cover, and then it's like, or I do what, I speak about what I want to speak about, or whatever, and then it's like, I only have a few small ideas, right? Okay, whoever we got here watching is either, like I say, working on a comment or shy. However, you're the only one here right now, so I mean, if you don't say something, then nobody beside myself will, Of course, more people will hopefully tune in shortly. There is one song I saw in that one book I could do. I feel kind of okay with it, and I'd be curious to know if there's any irony in the name in the song with our viewer. Use a mild trigger, but I can look past it. I think just to get things started, I'll do that. But I do all styles, and just because it's on the piano doesn't mean that. Well, you can see the comments that I put there. Okay. Just have to kind of reposition things over here. Ooh. Put on a light. It was in one of these two small ones. So yes, this one. 34 page number. For some reason, it just randomly came to mind as one that I'd seen in this book. So just gonna close the door there. I'm not really sure what the reason is, but and I usually like to, for the pedals, have to I do thank you for your patience. If you're struggling to think of ideas, but you're here curiously awaiting, I appreciate you being here. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the content before. If you're a subscriber, we got a second person here, and I need song requests. I got one idea, and that was not the one again. But, and yeah, need more. Oh, you're in here. Make sure you close that on your way out. Thank you. You didn't do so. Oh, you're not out yet. Okay. Yeah. Well, you're gonna be noisy. Okay, not noisy. Sorry. Okay. Thought the other person in the house was already outside, but he wasn't. Okay, and now we have no viewers. Yeah, I mean it's not an easy question, even as an avid music lover. And you're back in already. As if we didn't know you were back in. Just kidding. But it's not an easy question. No, they're for about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. So please close that door. Thank you. Kind of really want to wait until there's somebody watching. And again, if you see this after the fact and somebody watching, so I'm going to do a song idea I have, and very much happy to try and do ones that you suggest as well. And and the bureau left. But again, it may have been something came up, the device did something, or they accidentally clicked this and didn't even process the title or much of anything from it. It's all possible. Oh, I am kind of tired today, but next. As soon as someone tunes in, like I say, you can skip ahead if you're looking for content, and this hasn't been much yet. But as soon as somebody tunes in, I'm gonna. I don't know if that shows to anybody else or not. I'm gonna jump right into this song. So I think if I wanted to try and do it with both hands, I think I managed to do so okay, but just noodle it a little bit. I better bet it's just that way I don't accidentally hit something. I mean, it can happen, but I'm out of practice doing it the other way, so it might happen more than I would want it to. So. That's not the song. If somebody tuned in, like, oh, good, he's playing, and then he stops. I will at least do that one, but I really want to have at least one person here see me to care or caring. I should, if I had gotten this song idea just a little bit sooner, that person that was here for 3 to 5 minutes may have stayed around and may have liked it, But I'm not perfect, and sometimes I'm a little slow. It's been a bit of a long day. A good day for the most part, but a long day. So. I just thought of a song. Kind of a place I used to do mics at that's a little bit that's further from me now, and associated with some people that I knew that passed away, and the host is so these days. But the long wait, kind of the long day. just in general, there is something that's kind of making me think of doing this run song. Now, the person who I know who performs it, I don't know if it's just his style or John Prine sounds, a lot of the songs sound alike. But I don't know. It's an interesting other idea that I got. So then at least I'll put two songs in this. Although I'm not sure I'm finding that one. I thought it was called Long Year. It keeps finding something called Long Monday. But then just after two results, it says John Prine's Long, Long Year is these chords. So that's what I think the song is called. And I don't seem to be finding it. But I'll do this one. The first one, okay. Been a long, the chords are very simple. So I might actually, if I just search, what's it called then? Let's look and see if this is the, so I'm typing lyrics instead of lyrics. No, that's not the same song. Oh. But every time I search Long, Long Year, it finds Long Monday. And I'm not looking forward to Monday. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't, unless they really love their jobs or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know where the heck it is. Or what the heck it is. But, where? Well, I'm going to, sometimes I do these, and within the video, I'll say, do you have a song request? Like, whether I come in with an idea or a song ideas or topics, I'll do that. And it's not that some people don't notice, but it's not as obvious as in the title. And so I probably will try and do it that way, do it the same way as this, even though this one's been a bit slow, but I may not roll that much longer, and I really haven't been rolling that long. But during the so I might do that and just do this one song tonight and wrap up. But I guess we'll see where things are at after I do this one song. And if there's requests come in, I'll try and take them. Smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we have just begun. I think you're gonna have a son. You'll be like 23 years ago. The sun is gonna shine upon to the sun. It'll be alright. So a month ago I was not cheap. Never got high. I was bad. Now a small face that shares my name. Never breathe the same. So everything breaks and changes. Somebody was asking about this song earlier, but I don't know if they followed the channel, and they were quite drunk, so I don't even. Yeah, they were able to type decently, so I don't know. I just literally finished a song, but it was kind of the only one I kind of got the idea for. So I do welcome song requests. I can probably do 2 or 3, and the bureau. It's not that people don't like to give song requests. Because I know they do. But you know what? Maybe it's telling me, you know what? It's a weekend. Maybe it's telling me, oh, I'm meant to go to music. But sometimes feels like it. It's also maybe saying it's the weekend. The other person at home is not at work for hours and hours a day. Someone's got to make sure the dog is behaving while the other person's kind of doing yard work. And maybe it's just kind of continue to enjoy that person's company, tonight and this weekend. And we'll be doing something else anyway, separately soon. And tomorrow's not promised, We hope it is for the most part, or a lot of us do. But it really isn't. You know what I mean? And so, he might accompany me in some music playing, but it doesn't look like. So this would be kind of it doesn't look like it's going to be today, though. If we'd gotten some ideas, I would have maybe said, okay, hold off on that, for 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll bring him in and he'll join me. and it's a Saturday. So I mean, as much as I'm kind of eager to get to bed, it's only 8:30, so it's a little early, and certainly not going to be before midnight. It never is. So let me just spill some water on the floor, and I'll be right back and see if anybody's here. Luckily, from bringing your dog out this week and there's some wet weather, we had a towel kind of on our one chair, and so right next to me. So I just grabbed it and wiping up the floor. But you know what? They only go twice a year, says it. The one time still might be like as an opportunity to get out during the winter. There are other things just can't say no. She's trying to. But it's unfortunate because I just feel something. Anyway. It's nothing personal. So if it was just her. But still should be requiring a ride from somebody. And we don't drive, so it ain't coming from us. Oh. I'd really like to at least, one, it's nice to do something for someone else. Two, I'm curious what song suggestions I'd get. And three, I'd like to do them. So somebody did just tune in. I was close to wrapping up. I really haven't been rolling super duper long. And the viewer left. I wasn't saying I was going to wrap up just yet. Or at least I don't think it came across that way. I think it came across more as I'm going to soon, and I was going to, but I won't. But then they left, so. Some videos do better than others. That's just what it is. A lot of them are quiet, but some do okay. Mostly in the live chat. But, I mean, what you gotta do, right? But you know what? It is quite pleasant out there. I thought it was quite cool at one point, like quite chilly at one point this evening, but it's not bad, really. So, but soon it will be winter, and then we won't be able to be out in our yard as happily. So, and that would be the case in lots of other. I mean, some places it's already winter, and some places really don't get much of a winter, but some places do, and they get them pretty much around when we do. The only thing is that they may not get winters quite like ours. We get pretty wintry winters, but before I wrap up, if there's a song request that you'd like to submit into the chat, I mean, I think, asking most people would realize where to put it, but that's where. But the person left. So, yeah, I think we'll wrap up because that's not enjoyable. That's not motivational. I mean, it's done, with silence and no drama. So I do appreciate that, and that's pretty much always the case. And that's how it should be. But really how it should be is people tuning in, liking the vibe, curious, putting a song request, hearing some amazing talent. Not toot my own bugle, but it's just a bit of confidence. Although sometimes I don't feel it like I do. It's always kind of there, as it should be, with my abilities and my background, and I'm not trying to sound hoity-toity, like I don't necessarily have a music degree, but I don't need one either. And this and that, but it's sun will be going down soon, so I think I'm going to go outside for a bit. Not that I don't go out at night, but whatever, but nicer when it's a bit brighter out. So yeah, that goes without saying that it's nice when the videos do well and such, but sometimes they don't. So that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Some things never do. Just kidding. Doodle-doo. doo-doo-doo, 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 doo-doo-doo. But in saying that, like, if just by chance, and I say this because we never know in life, like I say, if by chance I survive, you know, into tomorrow, but the other person in the house doesn't, then obviously that'll be very hard and sad and this and that. But it's like with any goal or anything, you know, that is to be positive and uplifting. Um, we'd probably both say to each other, do what brings you healing, do what brings you happiness or potentially could. And if that means live streaming, then it means live streaming. You know what I mean? I mean, it can mean a lot of things, but sometimes sometimes it can be hard to think of them, especially if we're not doing well. Um, and if we need to work on building habits, like that, or some things take time, but we had a festival happen here recently, and I thought if anything had happened to the other person in the home, this the two of us, um, that only comes around once a year for just about 2 weeks, and there's some really positive things about it. There's some iffy things about it too, but most of it is a good thing. And I thought, if anything had happened to him, he would say, obviously, I mean, but sometimes not that what would say is what they do say, but no, he would say, that you know, um, obviously you're going to be grieving, and this is very hard. Uh, but you know what? This only happens for a little over a week, once a year. I know it means a lot to you. If you want to do it, do it. And I probably would, because I would know that that's what he would want me to do, and kind of what I'd want to do. And it's a nice distraction and such and such and such and such, right? So I guess I almost feel I do and I don't feel like I'm jinxing something. Whether I say it or not, who knows, right? Um, only the great beyond, I suppose. So but if that happened, I know sometimes it's hit and miss. Sometimes they're quieter than other times. That's true. But I do feel like he would probably say, do it anyway. And maybe it'll go well. And he's very happy that I'm you know podcasting, and when I'm feeling the sense of community here, and making impact and stuff, and so am I. You know, but tonight doesn't look like much of that's happening. So, at least not while we're rolling live. So, I'll give it maybe another 2 or 3 minutes. I don't want to. I don't want to go too much longer than that, unless there's activity. I'd be tempted to say I can use a cell phone for the other thing instead of the shared laptop, and then I can keep rolling. But I'm not exactly motivated either. 40 minutes in, I think there's been either one person here 2 or 3 times, or 2 or 3 people, and maybe they intended to and it didn't stick or whatever, or they didn't. Either way, and there's been no comments with this one either. So this one hasn't been very motivating, which I'm sure is understandable, whether you're a podcaster or not. And if you are, then yeah, you probably would understand what that would be like. And if you're not, you probably would too. Um, you know, uh, but I mean, a lot of people would say that it takes a lot of bravery, so, and I believe in what I'm putting out there, or what I'm trying to put out there, and I believe in my abilities. So I have a level of confidence that makes me feel like I don't feel like I need to be brave. But I suppose I would still agree with it a little bit that it does. Yeah. But impatience sometimes. Like I have done the occasional video, and I've been a little over an hour, or I think in one case, almost at the 2 hour mark. And then somebody tuned in, and I was kind of familiar with them from another channel. Um, I think it was the first video of mine that they seen, and we had a grand chat, a great chat, and it was enjoyable, um, as a great chat would be. I was going to do a song, which I have since covered, but and it wasn't like it was a hard song to do. It's just it was kind of new to me, and I remember just reading the lyrics. It's called "Look for the Good." Jason Mraz. I just read the lyrics, but I didn't actually do music. I can't remember if this individual. I think they've seen one of my other videos, and then also we've talked quite a bit on the channel I met them from. They have a somewhat common thing that they go by on here, so I almost thought I saw them on that channel today, but it was somebody else. Um, but I don't know if I did music in that one either. So sorry, Anna. But I at least did one song in this one. So 40 minutes in, you might expect more, but I at least did one song. Um, I guess I can say 2 dates ago from today's date. It'll either say 3 days ago or the 14th, maybe 14th or 15th. It was about a 3 hour long video because time flew and I didn't have anything else much going on, so I was able for it to be. I did do, and hopefully that song I did a little earlier showcased my abilities. I think it did mostly. I did do a bunch of karaoke covers, and I thought they're karaoke covers, and I haven't watched it back yet, but it sounds like they posted just fine. Um, just fine, and audio should be okay. However, they couldn't be monetized, and I don't know exactly how this works, but so it wasn't necessarily a copyright thing. It didn't sound like from the message I got, but anything that came from it was going to go to, I don't know if it was the artist or the channel, because the channel was just a karaoke channel. The artist, formerly known as, no just kidding, um, they're doing quite well. They're doing a lot better with their music than I am with their music or any music. So I mean, I get it, but it's a little frustrating, that's for sure. Um, but anywho, I'm not gonna waste any more of my time and energy on a video that doesn't have any viewers right now. So I'm trying not to. I'm trying mostly not to moan too much about it, but I think it's understandable how that's kind of disappointing. But yes, I mentioned that other video because I did a lot of music in it, and it's not the only one. It's just one of the more recent ones, and I would say probably one of my better ones, and one of the ones that was most focused and mostly music. Not other stuff. I mean, I think the conversation, the pearls of wisdom are worthwhile too a lot of the time. But if yeah, so feel free to check that out if you'd like to hear me do more music. Sorry it didn't happen in this one. You know, I mean, I look at people like Maxie, and he's got quite an active following. He also does. I don't know if there's anything to this or not, um, but so I don't think he ever comes in with any ideas, although I could be wrong. He does have three or four originals that are quite popular, and so one of them he saves for the end. I don't know if he has an intro song, and then the other two. But what do you call it? He does seem to come and post at the same time every day, like he has that in his schedule. I could. It's not like I'm crazy hectic busy. It would just be kind of the what's the word? Discipline to do it that way, because I'm kind of free spirited with my time. Um, And even then, it would take at least a little bit of time for people to get the idea of that's how we're doing it. Um, but then they know, and even if there's a time zone, time difference, they can say, "Oh, it's this time in where GNC is at, which it means it's this time where I'm at, and so I better tune in, or GNC will get very mad." Just kidding. But a little bit, at least a little disappointed, or maybe even quite a bit disappointed. But anyway, so I don't know. Are other people that disciplined though? That's what I wonder. Just, I mean, I guess if they know they enjoy the content and their schedule allows for it, maybe they would be. We did just have two people just tune in though, so this just happens to have been one of those quieter podcasts, and you left, so I'm gonna leave too. Sayonara. That was really weird. They both came in at the same time. They both left at the same time. But I mean, maybe they just happened to both come in at the same time. Then they're like 40 minutes in. There's very few song requests. There's no likes. This can't be any good. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that some people decide in that manner. And I wish there was somebody here for me to kind of verbalize that too, because whether they do or not, I mean, people have, it's not always easy, but people do have the ability to make their own decisions. But I guess it's kind of similar to like a restaurant review or whatever. You know what? A lot of people go and look at them, and some people will just say, okay, it's got 4 or 5 stars, must be good. Sometimes, there's an occasional one that's like that, but then you go and I had a really good pizza tonight, by the way. It was artichoke, olive, bacon, and mushroom. Anywho, I've never had that combo before. Anywho, and it's like, but some of them then go and look at the bad reviews and then talk stuff about it. But no, I don't know. I mean, people should be able to decide for themselves whether they, But I promise that with a song request, and it's something I know, and I know a lot of music, I could do it quite well. I feel. I think you would agree. But sometimes I'm like, I have no ideas. I'm relying on the people that tune in, and if they ain't giving them, then I'm not doing them. You know what I mean? It does work for a lot of people, and but maybe it takes a while to kind of get it to a place where it does. So um okay, I'm wrapping up. I know that when I'm actually it's okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm wrapping up. For anybody who comes in afterwards and sees it, hopefully you found that run song. If you skipped ahead and you're like, is there anything near the end of this? I would say it was at the 25 mark, 30 mark. I'm sorry, it's the only one. Hopefully next time I do this, there'll be more. It'll be packed with more musical goodness than just one song. Wasn't intended to disappoint, but again, I'm a little disappointed too. Anyway, I'm not going to keep going on about it. I don't have the energy. Nobody's here to hear it, and I don't really need to. So, bye bye.